treat. We've got Warner Phillips, the co-founder of Lemnis Lighting. For anyone who has not seen, I'm hoping he'll actually have a demo as part of it, or at least show what it is. It's an incredible innovation. You probably recall I began the conference by actually giving the analogy to the incandescent light bulb innovation, and I think this is a great bookend to hear about the current innovation going on in the space with Warner. He is a great speaker. It is a great innovation. We're privileged to have him here today. Warner Phillips.
It's always nice to be introduced as a great speaker just when the whole crowd is leaving the building for coffee. Most of you have seen this in the last few days because I carry this around me everywhere I go. If you're not sick and tired of it at this conference, you will be in the next few years. I actually have a slide presentation somewhere set up. I can see it over there. Where's the clicker? All right. First of all, I want to say I just got off a conference call early this morning. My buddies in the Netherlands know that we're raising capital for Lemnis, and I'm heading up that process. And some of them said, you should be in Europe right now because we have some really interested investors. And I said, well, that's a great idea, but if there's any place on the planet where you should be in this particular week and these particular days, it's actually Palm Springs, because this is where the world-leading investor community is. And it's also actually great weather, so it's a great place to be for us, and I think they actually were just really envious. What I'd like to talk to you a little bit about today is Lemnis and how innovative we have been so far. I'll walk you through a very brief presentation because I know we're all a little bit pressed for time. The thing that I will particularly focus on is a different part of being innovative. It's really not only just innovation in the technology, which is of course key to get a good product for your customers, but it's also in the business model and how you work with partnerships. That is at least as key to our success as it is today, as it is the technology itself. And by the way, I'm actually not even the right person to talk to you about technology. I'm the black sheep of my family. I'm not the tech guy. I went to law school, so that's how I learned how to cover my ass in these kind of conversations and presentations. But what I really will focus for you on is the business model. Now, here in a nutshell, this is what Lemnis is today. It's mostly a consumer-focused lighting company, and we're really a consumer marketing company. Everybody says we're a lighting technology company. We are. We have very deep technology know-how within our company. We have absolute rock stars, PhDs from all kinds of places, inventors who've developed the technology. Otherwise, we couldn't actually really develop a good quality product for our customers. But at the end of the day, it's a marketing company. Now, here are the products that we have. We have a consumer line, we have a commercial professional retrofit line, and we have solar-powered LEDs that we are marketing crazily now through mostly in emerging economies, where people can buy a solar-powered LED kit for less than $30, which they earn back by saving on kerosene in the next few months after that. It's actually a little bit healthier as well. Founded the company in 2005. I'm one of the founding partners. I work for a clean tech incubator called Tendris. We started 5 clean tech startups to date, and all of them have been successful. One has been successfully exited, and the others are growing very nicely. And all of them are very much focused on the consumer again. We see ourselves as market makers, and I've committed myself full-time to growing the rest of Lemnis internationally. We developed some other technologies for lighting, outdoor lighting, very innovative. It's called Mesopic. It's like a blend between scotopic and photopic. I won't bore you with the details, but basically it's mixing the way that we see light in the daytime and in the nighttime, blending that in a way so that you actually have less light but better sight at night. So that'll make our planet a little bit less visible from outer space. We have a very innovative greenhouse lighting technology as well, but these businesses are so incredibly different that we're spinning those actually out as we speak. 2009, we landed a massive order, probably the largest order that has been in LED lighting to date. It was a deal with a charitable funder. I'll highlight that a little bit later in the presentation. It was a deal where we produced and sold more than 2 million LED light bulbs. And that puts us in the #1 position of consumer LED light bulbs as of today. We have another pretty nice pipeline, especially this week was very exciting. We landed a couple of deals that puts us into contracted deals for more than 5 million units for the next 6 months. And we think we're easily going to triple that this year and probably doing about 100 million units in the next 3 years. And that gives you a little bit of sense about how rapidly this industry is accelerating to a fundamentally different technology. We have 6 manufacturing plants today. We have, well, we're starting up 2, but we have China, India, and we're starting up Taiwan and Russia. We have about 50 people in our company, but we work with a lot of very good technology partnerships, both in manufacturing across the planet, which I just highlighted, but also we work together with phenomenal technology companies like Texas Instruments, like Phillips Electronics, led on Zumtobel. So all these kinds of companies that have been leading in their field for components for this LED technology. So far we've been funded by the Clean Tech Incubator, some angels and high net worth individuals, and we're looking to expand that now with professional VCs. It's one of the good reasons for me to be here. Earlier this week, we had Martin Luther King Day. I played around with the idea to put a light bulb in his hand because I thought it was a great picture for that, but I thought it would have been disrespectful. One of the reasons why I put this picture in is that our company is very mission driven. And because of that, we have overcome several very significant challenges, and I'll highlight a few of those later in this presentation. But the key thing that we always refer to, and we've been doing that for a couple of years, is that we think that Martin Luther King was so successful and got so many people to follow his big movement, not because he stood up and said, I have a strategy, but because he stood up and he said, I have a dream. And of course, he needs to follow that up with a strategy and an organization and a plan to execute that. But it really all started with a vision and a dream. So to us, that vision was that there's an amazing energy opportunity. About 19%, depending on what stats you check, about 19% of global electricity goes up in lighting. And we think that about 50 to 80% of that could be saved if we all switch to LED lighting over the next 5 to 10 years. And our big competitors, groups like Phillips and GE, tend to agree that that transition is going to go very rapidly. It's going to transition about 45% in the next 5 years, up to 80% over the next 10 years, which means that we could arguably save about 15% of global electricity related to lighting. So that is an incredible energy opportunity. It's an environmental opportunity. Whether or not you agree with Mr. Rogers, it's a great opportunity for all mankind. And it's all feasible within a 10-year time frame, which is kind of nice considering all the big challenges that we're facing. The big market opportunity is there too. There's no business without a market opportunity. There's no real sustainability if you don't have a market opportunity. You have to find a customer that is actually willing to pay for your products. And when you listen to the other conversations that we had today where government funding actually comes into play is when the market doesn't do its job yet. If people are not yet really willing to pay a lot of money for instance, a new light bulb, sometimes you need a little bit of government support. We haven't had it yet. We think there will be some more in the next few years, but we're not depending our business case on it. We don't want to do that. But the key thing I think that you'll see in this projection is that the lighting industry is a massive industry. I've seen different stats. I stick to the more conservative one, which is a $70 billion a year light industry. And we think that with our company and our strategy, we're going to capture about 5 to 10% for the long term of that market. The big question again, of course, when is it really massively going to shift to LEDs? Which brings me to the next price point. This is a slide actually that we stole or borrowed from our competitors, a great company called LSG, Light Science Group. They're American. They've done some research on customers, checking out where the critical price points are when mass consumers are going to shift. And the interesting thing that you will see here actually is that the technology is increasing, coming more and more better performance. We're getting better, lower price points as we speak. And that means that the price points that are on this chart will actually be met in the next 12, 24, 36 months, more or less. So big chunks of the market are going to start shifting at $15. We think that mass market is going to shift below $10. That's really the critical psychological price point for consumers. Our friends at Walmart, Home Depot, Costco, Carrefour, et cetera, worldwide retailers tend to agree with that. So products are moving today at below $20. We're actually selling really nicely at $29 for our product because our consumers tend to think that it's a premium product. They really like the design of the product. They really like the design of the packaging. They really like the quality of the light. And the fact that this is just a 5-year-old demo product that has 45 lumens per watt, and we're already up to 65 lumens per watt, that's roughly 50% better, with a better design, a better quality light, just demonstrates how rapidly it's developing. And this really puts us in a position to also build a brand, which I will highlight later in this presentation. So, knowing that the price point is going to be there, and this is sort of some of the similar feedback that we've had from the UK. We've done some research there with among 5,000 customers. We said, here's a Ferox that does 300 lumens, tell us what kind of light bulb you would replace with that. And they got back to us and they said that the average, basically the average light bulb strength output that they would replace is a 53-watt incandescent. So the interesting thing is that if you look at industry standards, an incandescent technically should generate about 800 lumens. This one does 300 lumens. This one does 160 lumens. Some of the people said this would, at the conference, said this would replace a 60-watt. I said, well, I think it's safer to say a 40-watt, but still that's about 90% saving. But it also gives to show that there's another big challenge for us in the consumer education. We've done extensive focus groups where we showed these products, and we said, would you, do you like this product? Everybody said, yeah, I would love it. It's great design, great packaging, great quality light. So, well, if you have this 300 lumen product and it consumes 6 watts of electricity, would you prefer that one, or would you prefer this one, which does 300 lumens and does 12 watts of electricity? And people said, well, I'll have the 12 watt because they've all figured that that was a better performance product. So there's a lot of consumer education to be done. And the other key point, obviously, here we should see in the bottom right of the slide is that obviously they're happy to, 73% of people who tested our product would happily buy a new one, but not at the 23 pound price point. So how does all of this play into what we're doing at Lemnis today? So we figure that don't you love animations? We figured that where we come from in the last few years, we have an incredible team with very deep technology experience, people that range from not the lighting industry, and also including the lighting industry, former people at Phillips, for instance. So there's very deep technology know-how. We've used that to build out part of our IP portfolio, which is, I think, great. It's solid, but it's not enough for us to build a long-term competitive advantage. So what we've done is we've partnered with other companies like Phillips Electronics, for instance, to have a cross-licensing agreement so that we have worldwide IP indemnification on all our LED products. We have the same with Lidon Zoomtobel, and we're working on that on a couple of other very big lighting technology companies that make light sources. Because of that industry know-how, because we were pioneering, because in 2006 we were the first to actually launch a credible replacement for the incandescent light bulb, we've been working with a number of very good groups worldwide that offer us some worldwide credibility. This doesn't necessarily mean that our products are good, but it certainly helps us in a credibility in the consumer market by getting endorsed, winning prizes at the World Economic Forum from being a tech pioneer to winning a prize from the World Bank for our solar-powered LEDs in our Lighting Up Africa contest that we won the first prize. Endorsed by the Clinton Global Initiative and the Clinton Climate Initiative for our lighting efforts worldwide with the C40, the cities that want to transition to more economic and environmental impact. And we get a lot of media and publicity, which kind of helps us put us on the map and offers us credibility. We were also one of the first in the US to launch an LED, so that helps as well. Now, all of that is great, but having a good reputation and a lot of media is good for our egos, but what really counts is that we sell a lot of light bulbs, because only then will we have a real business, and only if we get our light bulbs out there will people start saving energy, saving money, and improve the quality of light and life in their lives. So what we've done is what I just highlighted, we had a big deal with the lottery. They took 2 million of our light bulbs and they gave them away to all the homes in the Netherlands. Not all of them, but 1 in 3 had that, and they threw a $30 million campaign at that to communicate about LEDs, so everybody in the Netherlands now really knows what LEDs are. And this charitable organization has done that because they felt that rather than spending all their money just giving away to environmental NGOs, which is good too, they actually felt it was good that they could highlight a new technology, that the world is ready for this new technology called LED, and that people should learn about it. So, and again, I'll highlight that in one of the challenges that we faced as well. We have 3-year volumes from, for instance, a global retailer, one of the top 5 light bulb resellers on the planet, that'll probably do a volume of about 70 million units for the next 3 years, 5 million units alone this year. We have a joint venture partnership in Russia where we're going to do 60 million units. The Russian government owns buildings that have 600 million light points. 10% of that they want to convert to LEDs in the next 3 years, and they want to do that with our products, so we're setting up our joint venture and manufacturing facilities in Russia as we speak. And then we have a utility deal where what we've actually done in the past as well, we've done on-bill financing. We're looking to do the same with American utilities, but we actually have a very interesting deal as well in Europe, where a utility will actually receive carbon financing for every light bulb sold, which technically could mean that we could just give it away for free and still make a positive margin on that. I think that's great, but I also think that it's wrong in the way that this light bulb actually represents a value and people should pay for that. It's better psychology. That's one. Point two, if you actually give away a product that people would actually pay for, it's kind of bullshit to use taxpayers' money to promote that. So But anyway, those all together generate a pipeline of 100 million plus. Now that's all great. It leads to supply chain leadership. It will mean that we will be one of the first to hit the new price points for consumers, which, as you saw in the previous slides, are absolutely key to really start moving mass markets. So that's great. But if we don't have IP that will give us a long-term competitive advantage, and if we work a lot with contract manufacturing, then how are we going to build a long-term competitive advantage for our company? How are we going to make money on the products that we're selling today, tomorrow, next year, and the years to come? So what we've been looking at, and that's why the team in San Francisco that I work with is a 10-headed, about more like a Web 2.0 kind of team. We're looking at a very different way of selling light. So the innovation is absolutely in the light source where we own IP, the driver, the thermal management, how you put all of that together to get a very good quality, dimmable, warm white light bulb. But the next point is, how do you sell that if it's still at a price point that is too high? Well, the volume deals should lead to cost down. But at the end of the day, we believe that a lot of these bulbs are actually going to be sold online. This is where people actually go to look for LED technology to really better understand how the technology works, who are the players out there, who are the credible providers, manufacturers, resellers, what's the credible product. And we found so far that, that online has been very effective for us. Our Web 2.0 team in San Francisco is also working with social media, looking through flash sales sites like Groupon, et cetera, to sell a first light bulb at $15 instead of $29.95. But if you know that you can throw, could do a 50% discount at acquiring a customer, but then it has a lifetime value of $50 to $60, then that's an easy choice to make. And it's all very measurable because we sell it all online. We know who our customers are. We know where they are. We know how to market to them. And the good news is that once people have actually literally seen this light, they actually come back to buy more. So more than 1 in 3 actually buy one, come back within 2 weeks, and buy 10 more. So that's a great business model for us to work through. What we're doing, highlighting just the fact that people actually need to see the light. That's one of the problems when you sell online, right? You see the light bulb, but do you actually experience the light? Not yet. So you have to demonstrate it. You have to showcase it. So one of the things we're doing right now is we're building showcases in a number of places, which I'll show you in the next slide, where people can actually see the light bulb, for instance, in a cafe or a bar or a restaurant. They can see the quality of the light. Same thing in hotel rooms. They can get a discount coupon for ordering one online, and they can come to our website, order one, get the discount, refer friends, and we can keep on marketing and selling to them continuously. And while we're doing that, while we're in all these places who love to do that because they all get their rebates for switching to energy efficient lighting, they actually get cash as of day one, restaurants, bars, et cetera, in San Francisco. And we're looking to roll out that program nationwide. So they're making money, but they're also promoting our products. So with all the promotions and the deals in hotels and restaurants, bars across the country, but also with groups like the Boy Scouts of America, who have 4.5 million scouts out there who actually want to raise capital for their phenomenal organization, they actually want to promote the Ferrox light bulb because they believe in sustainability. They don't like the mercury in CFLs. They don't like the fact that even in a state like California, less than 10% of CFLs are recycled. So they want to dump CFLs like more and more people want to do. And they want to promote the LEDs. So if we get only 1% of those guys running around throughout the US, that's a sales force of 45,000 people promoting a Ferrox light bulb, and we're branding the product while we're selling it. So these are very different kind of ways of selling a lighting product while we scale it. And while we're doing that, we're giving brand impressions. We're marketing it so that even though that breakthrough might not happen in 2011, it might happen in 2012, at least we're ready for it, and we'll be one of the brands that's top of mind with American consumers. And these models are actually tested in the US, and once they work, we roll them out internationally. We have offices in the Netherlands, we're here in San Francisco. We have offices in Hong Kong, in Singapore, South Africa, setting it up in Russia. So we're worldwide, and every time we go into a new geography, for instance, selling these Ferrox light bulbs at a DIY chain in Italy means that we need a website for Italy. So all that is being powered from an infrastructure perspective in the US. So that's really our core competence out here. But once that works, we can demonstrate that, but we can also go into the Italian market, just tailor the website from the consumer engagement perspective so that the website can be rolled out nationwide, worldwide, very rapidly. So all this together, we believe will, at the end of the day, will build real sustainable advantage for us. We think that we can capture a 5 to 10% market share in the next few years, which means that it will be a $1 billion company a couple of years from now. How's the Ferrox different? One of the things is, of course, it doesn't just have to look nice, but it has to have good performance. We have 65 lumens per watt. You see it's 60 there. We're actually up to 65, 70 in the newer products that we're launching. That's better than most of the big brand competitors that are out there today. Interestingly enough, consumers don't really care about that because 65 lumens per watt doesn't tell them anything. They really want to know, is it a good quality product? Do I get good light? And is it affordable? But at the end of the day, our approach is, being inspired by a couple of companies that I'll show you in a slide later, is we want iconic design. If you're building a brand, you want to be top of mind. You want a product that people really want. We don't want people to have the mindset of CFLs making concessions to the quality of design of the product, of the light. So it has to be a zero compromise solution. That's our approach. We have end-to-end IP protection, which is crucial for landing massive deals with worldwide retailers. There's an incredible IP minefield in the lighting industry, and we know that we're never going to beat the big guys on that one, so we joined them instead. We had the benefit that we are fourth generation Ferox. The first one was launched in 06. We're 4 generations down the road, so the product keeps getting better, the color mix keeps getting better, the efficacy, the lumens per watt gets better, the thermal management, we're getting to better drivers as well for even better dimmability. And we're the only one on the planet that have actually made more than 3 million of these consumer products. And the other key thing, I think, is that we have a very broad product definition. We don't believe that this is just a light bulb that you will buy at the corner store. And your whole experience is what's key to us. It's not just about buying the light bulb somewhere. It's about ordering, for instance, online, making that easy for people. And some of the companies, let me just quickly zap to this one. These are the companies that we are very much inspired by. We love the design by Apple that really challenged the consumer electronics industry and took an incredible stake out of that market. And the phenomenal service of Zappos. I mean, who would have thought that so many people would buy shoes online? But the phenomenal service, the quick response, the free returns are things that we have incorporated into our business model so that people will make it super, super easy for people to order bulbs online. You don't like them, send them back. The interesting thing is, none of them have sent them back yet. We sold, in that lottery deal, we sold 2 million products. We have less than 0.01% of returns. The people love it, the product works, so that's great. And of course Netflix, which has demonstrated that in the movie rental business you can actually disintermediate, which we're going to be doing in the lighting industry as well. So it's business model, bumpy ride. I had one of the guys in the office add this Dilbert clown to this slide. One of the key challenges we're facing, obviously, today while fundraising is, this slide actually doesn't demonstrate how dramatic it is, but having gone from 1 million to 2 million revenues to 36 million revenues through that lottery deal in 09, we figured that we could do even better than that in 010. And guess what happened? The market did not happen. So what really happened is that, after a massive campaign in the Netherlands, where 1 in 3 homes had an LED. Everybody knows about LED. We're talking primetime television, celebrities all over the place. People get sick of LEDs, basically. And hot air balloons in the shape of LEDs, the Prime Minister promoting it on TV, et cetera. We figured people would come running to the stores after that because the return on investment makes sense. The product quality is great. We were in the #1 grocery retailer in the Netherlands. We're the #1 DIY chain in the Netherlands. But they didn't come. The price point was just not at it yet. So we have to continue to lower that price point. Luckily, with the deals that we have right now, we can further, a lot of the time that we took in 2010 was to refocus again on getting these large volume deals. We thought the market would happen, didn't happen yet. So you go back, you keep on working on a better product, expand your product portfolio, and you get 3 to 5 new deals on board so that you can actually move to 100 millions of units to really push the price down so that consumers will massively shift to LEDs. And we believe that we'll be the leader there again. Again, some of the challenges, like I said before, within our company, we have incredible solid technology. The technology has been tested and verified by top institutions. Of course, this charitable funder, which is the largest in the Netherlands, they also wanted to know not only is it a good product, but is it sustainable? Is it environmentally friendly? Well, there's no rare earth materials in there, for instance. It's recyclable, maybe not with all the other metals, but it's recycled with your e-waste. And luckily, compared to CFLs, this one will last for 10 to 25 years, so you won't have that problem for the next few days. But they also checked into our manufacturing processes. They really forced us to work with the very best contract manufacturers that we could find that could really do this at a price competitive performance. And they wanted to know for sure that there were no sweatshops involved. So they visited our facilities worldwide, and they were very comfortable with that. So they really pushed us. And the interesting part, I think, is that the learning was that even though the market didn't happen in 2010, the fact that we made that massive deal with the lottery group in 2009 got us through an experience that positioned us to be able to sell to anybody on the planet who wants to resell LEDs. So that worked. It's the team stupid. We're an incubator, so we started the company in 2005. 2007, we figured let's hire a bunch of bright guys from Phillips to run this entrepreneurial startup. Bad mistake. The guys at Phillips, who they're great guys, but they were there at the wrong place and time. You need entrepreneurial people who keep on landing those massive deals, and not people that have been used to working for a company that has had 100 years plus of positive cash flows and have gotten lazy due to that, which is fine, but not within a startup. So we changed the team. We scaled back from 10 to 4, and now we're back to 50 people, with a lot of very high-quality folks from Phillips, which is a pretty good company, by the way. Did we peak too early? I already spoke about that. Luckily, it grew us. It didn't kill us. It only made us stronger. We were ready for the big jump forward that is happening right now. The market is really transitioning towards LEDs. And we continue to make creative deals to continue to get that volume in and the cost down. And at the end of the day, of course, the innovative distribution is key. This is more of like a summary for the investors, and I will not bore you with that. And this, of course, is where you can get it. And, of course, I recommend to all of you to go buy one today. Any questions? Chuck.
Good morning. Great presentation, and credit to you for so candidly outlining the lessons learned. You mentioned the price pressure that you got on the consumer products. What kind of margins do you anticipate having 2011, 2012, 2013 as you look forward?
Yeah, the margins, it's a very good question. The margins we are going to be seeing in 2011 are going to be relatively slim. The deal that we've made with a global reseller of light bulbs is that they would take a lower gross margin to make the market together with our products. And in return, we would have to take a lower margin as well. So those are below 10%. So that's a very slim gross margin, I think, for a company that has relatively high OpEx and is still a relatively risky part of the industry. Now, the good news is that the way that we're marketing and selling bulbs today online pushes margins back to the 25 to 30% range. So if you make that into a blended mix, I think it's safe to say that the gross margin overall this year will be anywhere close to 10 to 15%. That's a pretty broad scope, but it will really depend on how the other channels that we're selling through that have really good margins will pan out. So that's 2011. I think it'll gradually go up to about 15%, and that's where I think it'll stay. I think it's also a little bit inherent to our business and to our mission, where we are absolutely driven to create long-term shareholder value, because we think that that's what really makes a sustainable company. But at the same time, we want to accelerate the transition of this industry. We've led it so far. We were the first to have a credible replacement of the incandescent. We were the first to make over 1 million consumer LEDs. We're still leading on efficacy, lumens per watt. So there's a number of parts where we're leading. But because we are so mission-driven, we want to make this market. We want to capture a 5 to 10% market share. It's not that we're not concerned about the gross margins, but it is obviously a very high priority, because only that means that we'll make this a successful company and that it will sustain itself.
Warner, thank you very much. We'll do a quick picture.